My name is Emily Tobias, and my nonprofit organization is Backyard Harvest. The campaign I chose is Grow for the Greater Good. Backyard Harvest, Inc. in Moscow, Idaho, strives to provide better access to fresh, locally grown foods to low income families, seniors, and individuals in the community. Their mission is guided by principles that are unique to them and promote ideals that overall can contribute to the growth of a community. Backyard Harvest has implemented goals to achieve to help their organization flourish. They highlight the importance of private owned sources of fresh food and the impact that these food systems can have on a community. Backyard Harvest believes in self reliance, and by communities feeding themselves, it can eliminate transportation and packaging that rely on non renewable resources. They say that gathering, gleaning, and growing are activities that engage people of disparate ages, ethnicities, and socioeconomic backgrounds. When people are engaged in these activities and sharing their food, their sense of common purpose and fellowship is strengthened. Backyard Harvest's success is based on the extent to which the organization influences and shapes local food systems across the country. Backyard Harvest was started by Amy Gray, a book designer and a mom in Moscow, Idaho. What she now refers to as gardening accident, Amy Gray once grew 200 extra heads of lettuce in her first vegetable garden in 2006. Instead of dumping the extra heads in her compost pile, Amy took the first of hundreds of trips to her local food bank. This soon started Amy's passion for bringing fresh fruits and vegetables to the community's most vulnerable populations. When it comes to the future of the organization, Backyard Harvest needs a facility to help them expand and have the space and equipment to allow them to continue successfully distributing fresh foods to the community in a more convenient and feasible way. I have chosen a traditional capital campaign to focus on a single project, building a facility for Backyard Harvest. This will allow the organization to have the capacity for their programs to expand and reach new heights. Currently, Backyard Harvest does not have a facility, and donations are dropped off at a local cafe owned by the director of Backyard Harvest. A facility for this organization would help its needs and allow for a space to collect and distribute fresh foods for the community. This space will make way for a bright future of the organization and allow it to grow and share its ideas with other organizations in other regions. The campaign will follow a traditional capital campaign due to the fact that the goal of the campaign is a new building, and all donors and prospects will be asked to give support to the priority project. Grow for the Greater Good will have a goal of $200,000. The campaign will have a 5-year length and will conclude in August of 2022. I proposed this specific dollar amount after researching Backyard Harvest's previous annual reports and looking at their previous and current donors and the amounts that have been given to their organization. Although $200,000 may sound like a stretch for Backyard Harvest, I still believe it could be feasible, and through well thought out and sequential fundraising, the organization could reach the campaign goal before the deadline. I proposed this specific deadline because I wanted to capture attention and motivate timely action by everyone who is involved. By creating this deadline, the stakes are raised for everyone. I chose the deadline to be in 5 years due to the fact that this is a traditional capital campaign and will be focusing on attaining a new facility rather than consisting of various priorities in the campaign. Due to the fact that Backyard Harvest is a smaller organization with limited staff, the campaign will rely heavily on volunteer committees. Grow for the Greater Good, there will be campaign co-chairs that are enlisted rather than one campaign chair. Through this approach, visible leadership that is diverse will be established in the campaign, and having multiple co-chairs will help represent the campaign to various constituencies. Possible individuals that could potentially serve as campaign co-chairs would be Jessica Berman, who is one of the board of directors as an immediate past chair who is currently still involved with the organization and focuses on organization development and project research. 2 other potential co-chairs who are also on the board of directors, Bev Bathis, the treasurer, and Melissa Rudley, who works on the University of Idaho campus as a registered dietitian. The co-chairs for this campaign will be supported by a few different committees that will each focus on specific aspects of the campaign. During the quiet phase of Grow for the Greater Good, strategic planning will occur and research will be conducted to help determine the factors that are necessary to support the campaign, such as identifying prospects and building development staff. The case for support and the case statement will flow from the interactive process of informing fundraisers of the priorities that may be emerging from the strategic planning. The next step in the quiet phase is the Nucleus Fund. This phase will encompass gifts that are solicited during the quiet period. This is when solicitations will begin and will follow the top-down, inside-out sequence. Due to many variables guiding this organization, the Nucleus Fund should total a minimum of 40% of the total goal. This means that before the end of the quiet phase, the Nucleus Fund should total $80,000. The public phase will begin with the kickoff that will consist of an event where the campaign is introduced and explained. The Nucleus Fund is announced and the lead gift donors are recognized. For this campaign, the event will generate excitement about the organization and the campaign purposes. The purpose of this event will be to create visibility and optimism and inspire the campaign leaders and excite those yet to be solicited. The kickoff event will include volunteer leaders, donors, and community members. After the kickoff, sequential fundraising will still be followed. This is the time to be soliciting major gifts from the top donors. After the early solicitations are conducted through the top-down process, the campaign will move forward to the next phase, which will consist of the solicitations of smaller gifts from a broad base of donors. During the general gifts phase, the campaign will move on to broad-based solicitations and open up to the total donor constituency. To increase participation in this phase, mailings, emails, and other events will be organized to help to be able to reach the final push. The final push will begin when the campaign reaches 95% of the total goal and will consist of continued solicitation methods. The final phase of the campaign is a victory celebration, which will conclude the campaign and organize an event to celebrate the victory. During this celebratory event, volunteers and donors will be recognized, and everyone that is associated with the organization is invited to take part in the victory and celebrate all the time and hard work that was put into making the campaign a success. Here's the gift table for Grow for the Greater Good. Although the first 10 gifts are a little over a third of the total campaign goal, I think that this gift table could reflect the success of the campaign and that the gift range and number of gifts for the first 10 would be possible to achieve. To contact potential donors to solicit major gifts, grant writing will occur and the donors will be reached out through a letter of inquiry and then a grant application process. I chose this method for the major gifts because during this phase, prospective donors are limited to a few that could potentially donate. Grant writing would be more personable to the prospective donor and would allow for an inquiry to contain a larger donation. During this time, solicitation will also occur with direct mail that will deliver the proposed message and have significance in the delivery methods in later stages. Another strategy that will be used for soliciting major gifts will be the dual ask strategy that will solicit donors for the capital objective of a new building, but will also tell them that annual fund solicitations will continue as before. I chose this strategy to ensure that there isn't a loss of annual giving from the donors. Other delivery methods that will be used to solicit prospective donors in the later stage of general gifts will include crowdfunding through social media. Backyard Harvest will revamp its social media using Facebook and Instagram to spread the message to a larger constituency. As well as having a web presence already, Backyard Harvest social media will be upgraded to ensure the effectiveness of the crowdfunding method. Strategies to effectively reach the goal during the final stages through crowdfunding will be able to make the goal exciting, gain people's awareness, and engage them in the campaign with hopes that they will tell their friends about it. The idea will be presented in an attractive and appealing way, showing a lot of graphics and photos to help paint a picture in the prospective donors' heads. We will strive to gain supporters by using links and connecting them with the Backyard Harvest websites where donations are accepted. One new thing that I learned during the semester that will change the way I interact with nonprofit organizations that I encounter in the future was how organizations use social media platforms and social networking sites. Social media plays a key role in spreading awareness about nonprofit organizations and linking goals with a call to action. I also learned to observe, be aware, and listen to what is going on around you. Now that I have learned so much about the role social media can play with nonprofit organizations and campaigns in general, I have a better understanding of communication methods with these organizations.